Welcome back to Auto Evolution, everyone. Today we'll be exploring a sort of growing market that honestly has me driving around town looking out for deer in headlights. I'm talking about e-scooters and the people who ride them. And by the end of this video, that might be you. We're going to run through 5 machines that you can pick up for $700 or less. So throw on a helmet, grab a backpack, and get ready to start saving some gas. First on today's list is none other than Segway and their Ninebot F30 kick scooter. Considering this crew has been around since 1999, it kind of makes them a ruler over all this electric mobility stuff.
You have no power here.
This leads us to their F30 e-scooter, which cruises in for no more than $650 on Segway's website. Let's start off with the most important features that we typically look for in something like this. That's power, speed, and range. Starting with power, pulling you and this trinket along will be a 300-watt motor mounted to the front wheel. What does this mean for you? It means a top speed of 15.5 miles per hour and the spunk to climb 15% inclines while carrying your 220-pound carcass. As for how far you can ride this thing, nothing more than a 275 watt-hour battery offers a range of up to 18.6 miles. That's good enough to help you take a trip round the park, to the pharmacy, and still have some juice to do it all over again. Other capabilities that Segway works into the F30 include a folding frame, integrated headlights, and an LED dashboard. There's also an IPX5 rating too, so you stand a chance of making it to dry land in case of some rain. While no suspension system is integrated into the steel frame, a pneumatic front tire softens up some of the cracks you encounter while riding. Oh, and there's clearly an app for that, so you can connect your device and keep an eye on diagnostics as you move through your urban jungle. To make sure what you just witnessed doesn't happen, an electronic and disc brake are present on the F30, helping you stay in control of your rides. There you have it, the Ninebot F30 e-scooter. $650 of Chinese goodness wrapped up in a 33-pound package. Next up on our budget-friendly list, none other than the KQi2 Pro from Niu. Yep, yet another Chinese powerhouse that aims to replace our ICEs. This thing is selling for $600, so burning less fuel is a very real possibility. Now, Niu entered this market back in 2015 and was pitting itself against giants like Segway and a few others. In short, they had to be big. The Pro showcases some pretty great stats, including a range of 25 miles, a top speed of 17.5 miles per hour, and the ability to dominate hills on the same level as the F30, 15%. Feels like this manufacturer is hitting all the right notes. All that's made possible by a 300-watt motor and fueled by a 365 watt-hour battery. Another trait that sets Niu products aside from others is this whole modern and slightly futuristic styling. Honestly, I'd feel like Judge Dredd riding this thing around town.
I am the law.
Here too, no suspension is integrated into the 40.6-pound scooter, but the presence of 2 pneumatic tires promise to soften up your travels. 2 brakes, 1 electronic and 1 disc, help you stop safely, but regenerative braking is also mentioned. However, history tells us that regenerative braking on an e-scooter typically amounts to nothing. All that's tied off with an LED dashboard, integrated lighting, a folding design, and yes, there's an app for this one too. You can lock your ride, check diagnostics, and even set a cruise control speed. Sounds like the KQi2 Pro is a rather solid contender to end up under your feet. Number 3 on our list, the G4 from GoTrax, an e-mobility crew that's been active since 2017, aimed at fun, eco-friendliness, and affordability. These are their words, not mine. Kicking things off with a G4, this piece is priced at $650, and frankly, I'd go for this EV, and here's why. We're looking at a range of 25 miles, a top speed of 20 miles per hour, faster than the previous 2 models, and an overall weight of 37 pounds with a folding frame. But there's no suspension. Pneumatic tires for the win again. This goodness is made possible with a 350 watt motor and a 375 watt hour battery. So a tad more powerful than the two models we've just witnessed. I already mentioned the folding frame, but other features to look for are the large LED display integrated into the cockpit, thumb throttle, and the headlight. GoTrax also integrated a security system into this scooter in the shape of a built-in steel cable. But by the looks of it, I could cut this thing with nothing more than a pair of scissors. Brakes are set up like all the other buggers, with an electronic action on the front and a disc on the back. No regen mumbo jumbo here. That's the GoTrax G4 e-scooter. Not bad, little guy. Not bad at all. So far, we've gotten to know 3 contenders that seem to bring more than enough bang for buck. However, this next one I've been testing for the past 6 months. It's the Okai ES20, aka the Neon. If you remember the material we posted a while ago on this scooter, then you know what to expect. If you don't, just check the description below. Considering I've been riding this scooter for the past few months, there's quite a bit I've discovered about the ES20. One of those things is that it's still going strong. The 300-watt motor mounted to the front wheel is pulling me uphill like it did on day one. And that integrated rear suspension still works wonders if you encounter things like cobblestones. The ES20 can reach a top speed of 15.5 miles per hour and will carry you around town for up to 25 miles. The latter is made possible by a 9.8 amp-hour battery. That's because Okai is one of the grandfathers of this industry. Much like Segway, having been around for over 17 years. Did I mention they also hold over 100 patents for this type of machine? In short, you've probably ridden an Okai and didn't even know it. After all, they're a major supplier of those scooters you can rent for riding around town. And yes, they are Chinese too. As for a few other things the Neon has in store, a front pneumatic tire, an integrated dashboard with an array of options, and something called swag lights, which is basically LED lighting integrated into the steering column and the footboard. All are controlled from an app. Speaking of which, that footboard is quite comfortable, and because it's longer than the average e-scooter, you'll feel balanced standing on it. All that sounds pretty sweet for a scooter that cost $600 when I first picked it up. It's now selling for $650 depending on where you are in the world. I'll be honest, the frame is foldable, and Okai does market the scooter as rather light. But coming in at 38.5 pounds, I can tell you it's not the most comfortable to be carrying around. Other than that, it's simply time for a general checkup. Maybe replace a brake pad or throw on a new front tire. The Okai ES20 Neon e-scooter. Solid Chinese fun. Again. Last but definitely not least, a company that goes way back before all this EV stuff. Just a hint, they're Italian. Yes, Ducati has its fingers in this pie too. After all, they couldn't just sit back and let China have all the fun. Today, this famed crew offers a few electric scooters, of which the Pro II Evo, a $650 option from this historical manufacturer. Sure, they're working together with MT Distribution Group, but the name Ducati is sure to smack onlookers straight in the face. Now, this brand means something, so expect to see things done a tad differently. Overall, we're presented with a magnesium alloy frame with folding abilities too. A 350-watt motor mounted to the front wheel, up to 25 miles of range, granted by a 375 watt-hour battery, and a top speed of 15.5 miles per hour. Most of that sounds like a lot of what the other guys offer. So, to stand apart, a dual suspension system is found on the 2 Evo. At the front, we see a classic fork with enough travel to reduce bumps, while the rear action is powered by what appear to be little swing arm shocks. They look kind of cool if you ask me. 2 tubeless pneumatic tires are also part of the mix, so it sounds like this may be our smoothest ride yet. Tying things off are 2 braking systems as well, much like the other guys. Integrated lights, a flashy LED display, but best of all, those little knickknacks that boast that Ducati look. I'm talking about those fenders, side stand, and running gear found at the back. Wait a minute, it is a Ducati, so all that really makes sense. With some wires, brake pads, and other hardware, the 2 Evo amounts to almost 37 pounds of weight, granted by that magnesium alloy frame. Well played, Ducati, well played. At the end of the day, it helps to consider and use e-scooters as an alternative to your car, even if only for just a few miles each day. While it may not seem like much, if you spend just 10 miles per day on EVs like these, you'll be burning that much less fuel. And that just means more cash in your pocket. If we do the math, you'll come to find that in no less than a year's time, one of these e-scooters will have paid for itself and saved fuel. Once roads take their toll on frames, brakes, batteries, and motors, it won't even matter that you spent under $700 on such a tool. Before I go, be sure to practice safe e-scooter riding methods. Just 3 simple things, like wearing a helmet, keeping your feet spread out on the footboard, and obeying local laws and regulations. I know that last one is a bummer, but it's for your safety and that of others. Have fun out there and ride safe.